The world is still heartbroken over the loss of Matthew Perry. More reports and reactions are now coming in.
Hey up everyone, it's me, Steph the Alternate, your nerdy alternative, and I'm with Andy as ever. And yeah, more news is coming in from Matthew Perry's untimely death, which, by the way, I'm still in shock. I still can't believe it's happened. But yeah,
I think the whole world is, Steph. I mean, it's just not something. I mean, it's weird because we knew he had these problems, which you talked about, and I highly just wanted, before we even get the news, I do want to plug and tell everybody, get this book. It is really, really. It's tougher to read now, but it's also incredibly inspiring, and you're going to learn a lot more about him and the good he's doing towards raising awareness for addiction through his own experiences that are just harrowing. And I couldn't recommend it higher. I've been reading parts, and it's truly touching, and now so much more sad now knowing we've lost him. But to know he's been through all this, right? And then we lost him due to drowning is still, I know, incredibly shocking, and that's made people speculate on a lot of things. I don't even mention it, but I am. The amount of pandemic, Rona excuses. Oh, it's the Pope that did it. I'm like pulling my hair out. There's no proof of that, guys. There's no proof of that, but that's been something that's out there. All we know is that the reports coming in show that there were no illicit substances there, only prescribed substances. And right now we're waiting because the toxicology reports are inconclusive. So it's going to take weeks before we know if there was more in there, what he was taking that could have maybe been caused about it. But the post-mortem examination was inconclusive, and then we'll have to wait these results of toxicology tests. This can take time, guys. The family's been notified. What's really bizarre, and I tweeted about this over the weekend, but Steph, if you go to his Instagram, the only sort of insight we can get here is, here he is in the hot tub. This was 6 days before his death. Oh, so warm water swirling around you makes you feel good. Matt, man, it's just a sad, but also weirdly inspiring to see, like, he's clearly in peace. It feels he's at peace. He's feeling good. He's in his hot tub listening to music, it seems, or something, while he's relaxing out there. And this was clearly something a routine that he, did regularly. And now if you go to the picture overhead, as they've been sharing, of sort of his home with the corners, tents and stuff there, you can now see that's the pool from where he was at. That one on the right-hand side clearly was an area he was chilling in and enjoying that view. In his book, especially near the end, he talks about sort of his life now and sitting there in that end and staring out at the ocean and just being the gratitude he describes from everything he's been through and survived the experience. He also talked that he ends a lot of those posts with "I'm Matt Man," and I was confused until I started reading and went to the end, his chapter about Batman. He reads a little portion at the end just to offer a little bit more insight into him, his gratitude, etc. He says, it's the last line of the book, someday you too might be called upon to do something important, so be ready for it. And when whatever happens, just think, what would Batman do? And do that. And it's poignant and it's telling. He apparently was obsessed with Batman, especially in the later half. There's another one on his Instagram where he's watching Batman on 4 screens. But I hear to take that quote for my own sake, and I'm like, yeah, I mean, Batman would do the right thing, right? Batman does what it takes to help Gotham and everybody. And it felt like Matt was starting to feel that, right, of helping others. And I think that's the big takeaway I've learned about Matthew Perry, is because I'm a fan, but I wasn't obviously as looking as closely as obviously we all are now. And everyone wants to talk about Friends, of course, a classic, important character, but the amount of good that he was doing for others in addiction recovery and raising awareness of that disease and how awful that struggle is something that I think a lot of us need to be talking more about, and we will be talking more about here. But yeah, Steph, overall, we don't have more information yet. We're waiting. We're also waiting for his castmates from Friends to say something. Word on the street is that they are preparing a joint statement. We'll obviously report on that as it comes, but I no need to rush them or wonder why they're being silent. Obviously, I can imagine. I mean, reports are saying they're reeling. Of course they are. But the creators, if you want to share this one, Steph, the creators of Friends did release a statement, correct?
Yep. Apologies there, frog in my throat. But yeah, so the co-creators, Mark Kaufman and David Crane, and director Kevin Bright had issued a joint statement saying, "We are shocked and deeply, deeply saddened by our beloved friend Matthew's passing," a statement given to Deadline, and that it still seems impossible. And yes, the Friends cast, because everyone's waiting for the Friends cast to actually say something, the main Friends cast. And yeah, the rumours are they are preparing to release a joint statement. The industry source said to Page Six that essentially the cast is reeling from the loss of their brother, because that's what Matty was, their brother. It's just devastating, and it just really, really is. It's devastating. It's awful to see how Matthew Perry, you know, in terms of his life and how he explained it, had all these demons and he overcame them, and he was finally living his best life, health-wise, you know, overcoming his demons, beating them every single day, seemingly, yeah, being at peace. I mean, you look at this final Instagram post and you think, yeah, that looks like a man at peace now, right? You know, living with his demons, but beating them every single day, never giving in. And all of a sudden, the way I see it, being cut from the knees and his life cut short after he'd gone through all that hell and came out the other side. It is just
Well,
absolutely devastating.
and again, why I suggest you read the book, because it's even more poignant and heartbreaking when you realize like his routine was to go out to that edge and just stare out into that view, which is a gorgeous view. I mean, obviously he could afford to have that view. And yeah, he would just find his gratitude there and look out and think, relive moments and the audiences at Friends, his friends, the creators. And I wanted that you read a part of the quote stuff, but there was a longer quote. We're shocked. I just sent it to you. We are shocked and deeply, deeply saddened by our beloved Matthew, our friend Matthew's passing. It still seems impossible. All we can say is we feel blessed to have him part of our lives. He was a brilliant talent. It's cliche to say that an actor makes a role their own, but in Matthew's case, there are no truer words. From the day we first heard him embody the role of Chandler Bing, there was no one else for it. We will always cherish the joy, the light, the blinding intelligence he brought to every moment, and not just his work, but in life as well. He was always the funniest person in the room. More than that, he was the sweetest, with a giving and selfless heart. They end the message that saying that this is the one where our hearts are broken, obviously referencing the titles to their shows, the one with. But yes, this is definitely one where our hearts are all broken, and we're waiting word from the Friends castmates, which I do believe will probably release something jointly first. That seems to be what they've always done. Matthew talks about that. David Schwimmer was the one that brought them all together, and he thanks Schwimmer in the book about how that Schwimmer made them become a team when Schwimmer was becoming the big star from that show and could have left and made a fortune. He brought them all together and said, no, we're doing this together. We got to do this together, and got them that $1 million a week, which was so monumental back in the day. The opening by Lisa Kudrow, also an amazing thing where she's like, the biggest question I'm asked my whole career is, how's Matthew Perry doing? And she talks about the struggle of like, well, I can't tell you that. It's not my business to tell you that. It's his story to tell. And I don't really even know half the time. But he's like, finally now everyone gets the answer from Matt's own words as he's held this secret and talks. It's a very harrowing read. He goes into so much detail that most celebrities don't want to get into in their, past and tortured history. But all this is just only shining the spotlight on Matthew even more, and why the world is so brokenhearted about it. He was still so young. It seemed that he was finally healthy again, sober. He still was, according to all reports. So to see this loss in a drowning of all things in that big hot tub there, well, obviously answers still need to be made. We're waiting for some certain reactions that I'm sure will be very heartfelt and full of tribute, and we'll bring them there for you. But yeah, that's where we got. Anything else I'm missing, Steph?
No, not at this point. Stay tuned though for the second video today on Popcorn Planet, because from Matthew Perry himself, he has said how he actually would like to be remembered if he, you know, or when he would pass away. And now watching that video and him explaining how he would like to be remembered, oh my goodness, just chills down my spine, guys, and it's definitely a tear-jerker. So stay tuned for that video later on today. If you want to be kept up to date with everything that's going on with this situation, then do make sure you do subscribe, turn the notification bell to all so you're notified as soon as our next video does come up. Thumbs up this video and comment down below what your favourite Chandler Bing memory is. Go one step further and join today if you do want to, and get exclusive content from the man himself, Andy Signor. With that being said, thank you so much for tuning into this video. Really appreciate your faces. And until the next time, you guys, laters.